What's up there, Fancom Nation? Gary Clark here, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Redskins. Questions been asked about Kirk Cousins and after the Giants game, why Coach Gruden didn't show encouragement or give much props. Well, I think it's hard to give anybody props when you lose a football game. I just think that's the nature of the beast. Giving somebody you lost a football game. There's really no props you can give around. If you win a football game, of course, then you're going to give props to people that played well and allowed you to win that football game. And I think what people have to realize is football truly is a team sport. Like the quarterback gets way too much credit. The quarterback gets way too much blame. Always been that way. Probably will continue to be that way for as long as media outlets put it that way. But in terms of if Kirk Cousins will be here or not next year, it's a tough question. I think Kurt will get together with his family and decide how to make that decision. In terms of will it hurt the Redskins if he's not here? You just really never know. There's always somebody that tends to be hanging out in the wings sometimes that next thing you know is this player becomes a great player. So you just really never know until the season starts to see what you're dealing with. But what I do know as a player in terms of preparation for what should happen is any time that you play this game and someone gets hurt or someone gets benched, the player that gets hurt or the player that comes in for the player that's just been benched, you should not miss a beat. You should improve, quite honestly. I was fortunate enough to play with Coach Gibbs, and in our first Super Bowl that I played in, Super Bowl 22, Doug Williams was our quarterback. Jay Schrader was our backup quarterback in that game, and Mark Rippon, who would eventually be our Super Bowl quarterback in Super Bowl 26, was on the sideline in street clothes taking notes. That's how deep we were at that position, pretty much every position. So I think it's important that when you do these things as a team, that you shouldn't miss a beat just because the player is replaced or a player gets hurt. I think a lot of it has to do with you're a football team, and it's just like any other job. If something goes down in your everyday job, you expect the person that replaces that person to come in and do a great job as well. And these guys are professional football players, and I think that's what will take place. I think we'd love to have Kurt stay here. He's done a good job of understanding this offense, and he's done well. He's been efficient in this offense. But I think also the West Coast offense is an offense that allows you to be efficient because it's a lot of short passes. So you should be efficient in this offense, and you should run it well. But I think Kurt is one of the people that runs this offense well in terms of understanding it. But I also hope that we move to somewhat of a more down the field game as well. I like the East Coast offense. Back when I played, we ran the East Coast offense, and of course San Francisco had the West Coast offense, and a little different there. We went more vertical. West Coast goes more horizontal. So, but in my opinion, I think the reason Coach Gruden had nothing really to say good about Kurt or bad about Kurt after the game is because they lost. They lost a football game. It's kind of hard to talk well about anybody when you lose a football game. One of the best football games I've ever played was against the Giants, and I don't even count it because we lost it. It was the best, statistically, it was my best football game ever, but we lost the football game. I don't even count it. I don't even talk about it because at the end of the day, we lost the football game. So that's my sum. That's how I sum it up in terms of what's going on and with Kirk Cousins and the Washington Redskins.